Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, episode 20. And in this week's episode, we're going to be smoking Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real, the Nicaraguan version, and also my father's La Oferta. We're going to be getting into those. Those are two good cigars, but I don't want to spoil it for you. We also going to talk about some cigar news, some of the latest and breaking news in the cigar world, and we talk about the new releases from different cigars also. And look, that conversation about the cigar news does lead us into a big conversation about the difference between cigar smokers and cigarette smokers. But look, I don't want to spoil it for you, no judgment. Also, we talk about preparing your palate before cigars. But look, I'm not going to hold you. We're going to go ahead and get into this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It's a great day. You know what I'm saying? Weather's breaking a little bit. Getting a little warm outside, ready to get to it. Start living again. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got to be hibernating anymore. Hibernation mode is over for me.
Most definitely. Hey, man, guess what I did today, man? I pulled a U. I got two cigars, and I don't know what I'm smoking. But I know I'm using a V-cut. I do know that.
Hey, guess what I'm using?
What you using? T.
Straight cut.
Straight cut, my man. Dependable straight cut. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Now,
hey, look, you can't go wrong. You stick with what works.
I believe we agreed to that. Is it wine today, like we said?
Yeah, it's wine today. But instead of bringing two cigars to the show, I brought two drinks to the show. So I got a wine, and then I got something I seen just off the fly, and said, "Man, I got to grab that." So I'm gonna introduce that to you in a little bit. So tell me what you're drinking first before I introduce my drinks that I have.
Man, I just got some regular old Merlot, man.
Okay.
Middle shelf, maybe bottom-ish, closer to the bottom than the top shelf, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Just some regular old Merlot.
It's all good.
Not worth telling the name.
It's all good. Well, I mean, you did speak on the Merlot last time, so you did say you was going to go with that. So I spoke on two different wines. I spoke on the port, which I did want to get, but I couldn't find the port that I wanted, so I did go with the Sauvignon Blanc. So we brought the old boy to the show today. One of my first drinks that I used to pair with cigars. And we talked about how I used to get kind of shamed out of drinking my wine with my cigar.
Right.
But man, I cracked it open before the show, and it's as good as I remember it being, and I can see why I enjoy it. So I'm back to enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy it today.
It's going to be the new move.
Yeah. Well, but check this out, though. Check this out. So the second drink I found was this Jameson ginger and lime in a can.
In a can.
I did cheat a little bit. I cracked it before the show.
Okay.
It has a hint of ginger. It has a hint of lime, and it has a pretty good Jameson taste. So I'm sipping on that right now before I go back to my wine. It's good, man. It's a go.
The real Jameson, like that ain't like they didn't give no little watered down carbonated version or nothing. Like that's.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not the Jameson you would get in a bottle or a cask or anything like that. You know, it's a production version of it. I'm pretty sure.
It puts you enough in the mind of it, though. You feel like
yeah. It gets you in the mind. Kind of like I had a Crown Royal that was like that in a can, and it put me in the same mind as Crown Royal. Didn't feel like I wasn't drinking Crown Royal mixed with Coke.
I ain't mad at that. Then.
Just like it to me,
right?
Yeah, it gave me the same feel, gave me the same flavors. Like didn't have any aftertaste or anything that was weird about it that made it feel like it was watered down or cheat me out of my experience. It was just a more convenient way of getting what I would mix anyway. But you just don't know what you're getting because I'm pretty sure some more things put in it to give it that you know what I'm saying, all those characteristics of what you would think you would get, right?
Right. Makes sense. All right, man. Well, now that I know you got two drinks, good luck with that. Hey, let's get it. Those is co-stars, man, at the end of the day.
Co-stars.
We got to get into the actual stars, man. We all are supporting cast, but we're here for the cigars, man. So, I'm going to go and let you know what two options I got. And, you let me know what you're going to be rocking with today. Now,
All right, let's
that
let's
might
let's, let's
that might
talk
have
about it.
picked
What
up
you
on the
got, man?
microphone here, my little plastic bag I bust open. But I got a Hoya de Nicaragua Antonia CT. And I also
Okay.
have a Romeo y Julieta Reserva
Oh
Real
man,
Nicaragua. Nicaragua.
you got the Romeo. Okay, what kind of bands on that Romeo?
So it's the blue band on it right here.
Okay,
Blue
okay.
and gold.
I'm not too familiar with that blue band. I usually see the red one,
You
and of
normally see
course,
the red. This
yeah, and then
my
that was my
shop
first
said
one.
this one's only been out for a few months. And I picked this up off the gentleman that was in the shop's word. So I
Okay.
think I'm gonna go with this one. I think I'm
Well,
gonna
you
go
know
with
what?
this one.
I say it's good to see Romeo still producing some new cigars. You know, coming out with something new. We talked about how important that is. Keeping those staples, but then also making sure that you're growing your brand too at the same time. You know,
Most definitely.
catching people's eyes. You catch people's eyes, they're gonna more than likely, especially when you have a good place in their hearts and minds and say, man, Romeo was a good brand. My very first cigar that I've ever smoked, of course, we all know was a Romeo. So
Most
me,
definitely.
if I was in a cigar shop and I see that blue band, like, man, I'm not used to seeing that blue band. I'm used to seeing the red. What's this all about? So I'm gonna be all inclined to pick it up and give it a shot. So shout out to Romeo for doing that.
Most definitely, man. I'm proud of him, man, and I hope Romeo being one of the leaders in the game. I hope that they continue to set that precedence, man, and other smaller brands take notice and take heed and follow that.
Yeah, man, go
Now
with the Romeo, man. Don't let me influence you. But I say go with the Romeo.
I'm going with the Romeo. Now let me give a little information because I do try to do
Mhm.
a slight little bit of research here, so I got to pull it up on my phone here. I'm gonna say what
Yes,
I
sir.
do
Yes,
see
sir.
on this cigar. It it is actually a partnership deal that they did with AJ Fernandez and Rafael Nodal.
Mm,
Now, I'm not familiar with Rafael Nodal, but AJ Fernandez, of course, is a big brand I'm familiar with. They came together and they collaborated, and this is actually all of AJ Fernandez's tobacco from his
okay.
farm is what's within this, and it's a Nicaraguan cigar. So I'll get into my own opinions of it afterwards. I'm not gonna continue to read off, but that's the general concept about what the cigar is.
Okay.
And I got a
Okay.
Churchill shape. So
I like it. I
what you
like it.
smoking on today, man?
Man, we're going back with my fathers, man.
Mm.
Garcia. Gotta do it. That's my those are my that's my staple. But it's one of the cigars I have not yet tried. It's the La Gran Oferta, if I'm saying that correctly.
Who you sound like? You sound like me.
Sounded like you. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm unsure. So this particular cigar is Ecuador Habano wrapper, origins of Nicaragua as well. Um, it's supposed to be more of a robust cigar. It's a 91 point rating,
Okay.
but it's supposed to have some spice to it. And we all know, like we kind of shy away from the spice, but as the weather starts changing a little bit, I'm thinking the spice will kind of, you know what I'm saying, go good with the weather shift. And then I have the Sauvignon Blanc, so I'm hoping that the Sauvignon Blanc will kind of cool it out and pair well with it.
Right, right.
Um, I'm kind of interested to see how they do the more peppery cigars. You know, we talked about how a cigar can do a pepper cigar or leather notes, some of those flavors and textures that we don't particularly lean towards,
Right.
but we welcome them if they're done right. You know, like kind of like how Cohiba does the leather very well.
Right, right.
You know, Cohiba does leather very, very well. You know, it's not one of those flavors and textures that we look forward to, but when you do it the way Cohiba does, hey man, I
I
enjoy
deal
it.
with that. I rock with that if they do it properly.
Mhm.
So and Cohiba does it
So
properly.
hey, look, my fathers, I'm putting trust in y'all now. I grabbed a cigar that I knew they had a little bit of pepper in it by the descriptions and stuff. So I'm holding y'all feet to the fire now.
Hey, now look,
Y'all my
now
number one
my
brand right now.
my Hoya de Nicaragua is got some spice on it, man, and some
Mm,
leather. And which is why I went with
okay.
this Romeo, which might have it too, but I didn't check it. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
we
you
gonna
shied
see.
away from it. Okay.
Hey man, I ran off from it. But hey man, this Hoya got to get smoked, man. Don't be surprised if it's next week. So
You're gonna get to it. Yeah, for sure. You got to get to it at some point. You ain't gonna let a good cigar go to waste. Can't let that happen, sir.
Nah. So it's gonna get his day on the show.
Hey man, let's go ahead and get him.
into
Let's
this,
go ahead and
man.
get it. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm back to the Bic. I already had my setup already set, so I didn't go in and grab anything particular. I just knew what I had that was already ready for me. I was just gonna show up to the show ready to go, so I didn't grab anything new. I do have the spills to the side, but I'm not gonna use the spills today. I'm going straight with the Bic lighter and
And
lighting
the
it up.
spills
Man.
might be good when you're dealing with that spice. You
Oh,
want to
man,
you
you
want to
right.
get all natural flavors in this situation. You don't want to have to deal with no
You right.
additional
You know
lighter
what?
fluid.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna stop mid-light. I'm gonna grab me a spill.
Yeah. Me, I'm one match shouty. So I'm about to go ahead and pull this match off this little matchbook and continue with my continue being who I am.
Oh man, real talk, man. I had some matches on my nightstand. I keep a smaller humidor on my nightstand, and I had some matches over there. I was gonna grab them before I came down, but I didn't. I felt like what I had was significant enough that I was able to get the job done at least.
Hmm. Mad at that.
All right, man. I'm toasted and ready to go. Couple puffs off the toast. Honestly, more mild than I was expecting. I was expecting to kind of get hit, just puffing it to get the cigar lit, but it's smooth so far.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. My initial thoughts, I want to just come out and say, hey, man, this is a good cigar, and that's just off toasting it. But
Yeah.
I'm not. I almost held it back, but I'm gonna just say it. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately,
I
I
mean,
didn't quite get the
sometimes you
toast I
get that
wanted on it.
cigar that's like that. A lot of times you'll get that cigar that's like that. I mean, it's not too many, in my opinion, that come out the gate as you're toasting it. It's like, man, like you're ready to get into it. And I say this one so far, just even off the toast, I'm like, man, I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah. This is also a 92 rating for this cigar, man. So it's supposed to be of that ilk, Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Mine is
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say mine is real smooth. I want to say it's got a light to medium body right now so far, but it's
Okay.
got a smooth mildness to it. It almost seemed like a little bit of molasses kind of hit me right in the beginning, but
Like that.
not really. A little bit of pepperiness to it, and I'm gonna hold off right there. Let me just continue. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I was gonna say about reading the description of my cigar. And a lot of times I don't like to read the description of the cigar while I'm smoking it if it's my first time smoking a cigar, because I don't want to be led to thinking of, swayed of what I'm thinking I'm tasting. I like to be able to just be able to pick up on things,
Right.
instead of reading and saying I'm supposed to pick up on this at this point and then this hits and then that hits and then that hits. I like to see for myself and then go back and look at the review and say, okay, what are they
That
saying
matched
about it?
up. That
How
didn't
did they
really.
how did what I get match up with what the cigar manufacturer or the cigar reviews are saying about that particular cigar? So I'm reading it
Right.
as I'm lighting it and toasting it, and it's saying toasting the foot. You'll find the classic Don Pepin Garcia black pepper up front, and then following with dark notes of chocolate and rich fruity sweetness.
Right.
And So knowing that, talking about the spice and the peppers that the cigar was supposed to have off the toast, man, I did not get that. I did not
Didn't get
get
none
that.
of
I'm
it.
expecting the pepper to hit me. And I'm telling you, like, if that was pepper in the beginning, while I'm toasting it, that was the smoothest pepper I've ever had.
Well, mine had some a little bit of pepper, like a little spice actually. Maybe spice is the
Got a
better
little
way to
to it.
describe mine. Yeah, a little tingle to your tongue. You know what I'm saying? And that last note I was trying to really put my finger on, probably like a woodiness. You know what I'm saying? Like a woody
Okay.
type flavor to it. So, but it's smooth though. This is smooth. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. This is
Hey, so for my, go ahead.
this is like a cigar, but smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like
All right,
a
cool.
man cigar,
A
but
man cigar.
easy going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a cigar you wouldn't give it to a novice cigar smoker, a first timer.
nah, but I would give it to them early in the game, and they would be able to like it.
Okay.
They can get it early,
Okay.
but it wouldn't be their first cigar.
Not the first.
Nah, but if you get about 2 months under your belt and I slide this to you, you'd be like, you'll feel like you leveled up. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be with it.
Okay. I like that. Hey, so first question I have is a cigar related question.
Mhm.
Cigar smokers related question. Um so we talked about pairing and drinks and stuff like that. We know we talked heavy about drinks last time, and then we decided to explore a little bit more, extend or go back and extend what our drinks were that we're pairing with our cigars.
Mhm.
So how important do you think for a cigar smoker is it to prepare your palate to smoke a cigar? So I know before you get to your answer, I know for me personally, there's times where I feel like I do need to prepare my palate. There's sometimes where I don't just go for a straight dry smoke, right? Where I'm just gonna grab a cigar and just smoke. I feel like I have to prepare my palate in some kind of form or fashion, um, and then go and enjoy my cigar. Is it important
Unpack
to
what you
you?
mean by prepare your palate. Break that down a little further for me so I'm clear.
Okay. So you know when you have a cigar and a cigar is gonna leave a certain taste in your mouth, and
Mhm.
you know an acquired taste that we enjoy, right? That tobacco flavor. But then sometimes it's important to for me to have a drink or something like that, just to get certain notes in on my palate, then have that cigar complement it,
Follow
right?
it. Okay.
Yeah, like I might even like a small bar of chocolate or whatever, like because I might have a cigar that I know that has some cocoa notes and stuff and some earthy, woody tones, and I'll grab like a cocoa bar, right, or some nuts or something like that that I know that's going to pair well with my cigar. Like, do you ever have those moments where you feel like, okay, let me put something on my tongue before I enjoy the cigar?
Be honest, man, I never even thought about that before. So no,
Really?
I never thought about it. The most I do is say, "Hey, I need to go eat something." You know what I'm saying? Like to put something on my stomach prior to smoking. But preparing my palate per se, nah, I never even
Really?
considered doing it. I, I I hydrate. I might drink a bottle of water or something before I do it. Why? I don't know. I just feel
Yeah.
like I need to, but I don't prepare my palate. Maybe I'll
Okay.
try it now that I
Okay.
know it's a thing, but I never even thought
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing. And it's something I did. I started not knowing that it actually was a thing.
Mhm.
It was just something I would just do. Like, man, like I'd be in the store and I know I'm gonna have a cigar when I get home. I'm like, let me grab a Snickers real quick because it got some nougat and some chocolate and some nuts to it, right? It's gonna give me the kind of earthiness that I know is gonna match with a cigar that I'm smoking. So I'll
Right.
do that. I did that today actually. Like when I was going to get my wine, I grabbed the Snickers just so I can throw my palate because I know it's gonna go well when I light my cigar, just to have an extra coating to complement my cigar. Not saying I need it per se, but it's preferred for me.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And it's something. It's an interesting thought, man. I actually may try that out next time. You know what I'm saying? If I remember
Hmm.
to. But I would like to try that. But no, I didn't. I
I mean,
didn't.
because like some certain cigar spots, a spot that we went to in Atlanta The place, what's it called? I think it's was it Triumph?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Over there by
Triumph.
the
Triumph is
yeah,
the name.
the lucky spot, right?
Right.
And I remember seeing how they advertised their establishment with pairing of the food, drink, and the cigar.
Yeah.
Like how it was important to do that in preparation of preparing you for your cigar. Have this type of food, a fish or a steak or whatever with this type of wine or this type of bourbon, and then you have your cigar that goes well with that. It's all about the preparing your palate. The first time we smoked a cigar down in South Beach, we ate up some good seafood from what I remember. I think it was some seafood.
Yeah.
And then we sat back, lit our cigars right there, and enjoyed it. That was, I guess, innately preparing our palate. We saw a lot of people doing that as they were finishing up their meal, finish off with a cigar. Your palate's prepared.
That's true. Man, hey man, but some people finish up their food and then go smoke a cigarette. So I don't know. It might be the same concept, man. Just putting some smoke on your stomach after you
I don't want
finish
to believe
eating.
it's the same concept. I don't want to believe it's the same concept.
Hey man, shout out to the cigarette
Hey,
smoke.
speaking of, you mentioned the whole thing about people finish up with their food and go smoke a cigarette. You had sent me something about parks and beaches and
Oh yeah,
how they're looking at, I guess, what, a nationwide thing, making sure that people aren't smoking cigarettes and everything else, but protecting the cigar smoker.
right.
Can you give me
So
some more insight about that? About that article?
yeah, so we'll get into that. So on aficionado, cigarsaficionado.com, they released an article and they were talking about, this is specifically in Florida actually. And Florida
Okay.
legislature passes a bill targeting beach and park smoking, but spares cigars. Of course, Florida's gonna spare
Mm-hmm.
cigars because it's the home of the cigar smoking. But
It
and shout
is,
out to
man.
Florida for that. I knew they wouldn't get rid of it. But to touch on the
Yes,
article a
sir.
little bit, it says the Sunshine State plans to ban smoking on beaches and parks, but the bill is missing one element that it had in its original form, and that's a cigar ban. So originally, HB 105 would have paved the way for local governments to ban all kinds of smoking on beaches and parks, should they desire. But on February 18th, an amendment was added allowing for the puffing of premium cigars, specifically
Mm.
stating that it does not have to that it does not apply to the smoking of unfiltered cigars. And the amendment for the cigars was made on the behest of Republican State Senator Jason Brodeur. Shout out to you, Jason. So
Yeah.
that's what's going on, man. I don't want to be an elitist or nothing like that, but cigars should stay, man. Cigars is meant for the beach and in those environments.
It
No
is, man.
disrespect to
It
people who
is.
smoke cigarettes, but cigarettes is stuff it's more of an addiction. It's more of I'm
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to totally downplay what y'all do, but it's not the same as cigars.
It's not the
Cigars
same.
is
It's not
it's
the same.
culture and enthusiasm. It's something I
Mm-hmm.
do to celebrate. It's not nothing I do because I'm stressed and I need to get rid of anxieties or anxiousness or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm not shaking to smoke a cigar. Now I do have times where I do crave a cigar, but it's kind of like a craving for food. Like, man, I really want a hamburger right now. You know what I'm saying? Or
Same
I really
thing.
want this steak, or I really want some banana pudding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like I do have cravings, but it's not a craving because of an addiction. I'm
No.
addicted to the feeling that it gives me, like the ambiance that it creates. I'm addicted to that, yeah, because I want to recreate that time and time and time again every time I pick up my cigar. Um, but yeah, it's not the
But
same,
your
man.
body can
Definitely
crave
not the same.
exercising. So I mean, I put cigars in
Yeah,
that same vein. You know what I'm saying? It's just
you
not
know me. I'm a runner. I'm a runner for, like, and I wasn't born a runner. I became a runner because I developed an addiction of some sorts to running. Like, I feel like I don't feel right if I don't go run at least 5 times a week. If I miss too many days, if I miss 2 days of not running, I don't feel normal. You
right.
know, so even then, so like, just like you said, like with that, yeah, it's a real thing. So
Real thing,
even with
man. And
cigars, it's not the
cigars,
same as the addiction for a negative purpose.
yeah, it's nothing to do with that. I can miss 3 weeks of smoking cigars. I can miss a month of smoking cigars, and I won't be around scratching my body and like Pookie from New Jack City.
Yeah,
Nothing like that.
You be like, man, I really want a cigar, but then if you don't get a chance to get to it, it's like, all right, okay,
Life
I didn't
goes
get to smoke
on.
my
I'm
cigar
not
today. It's
irritable or
cool.
none of that. Like,
Yeah.
if I miss a cigar, it's
Yeah.
not like that. It's not like what comes with alcohol drinking or none of that. The cigar culture is truly about the ambiance, the companionship, and it's a form of celebration. It's a form of it's about feeling good. It ain't about needing. You know what I'm saying? There's no need there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been plenty of times where I've been at work and I'm like, man, when I get home, weather's nice or whatever, and I'm thinking I'm planning to smoke a cigar, but when I get home, things aren't necessarily lining up the way I wanted to, and I might not get a chance to get around to smoking that cigar. Or I know Saturday's coming up. I try to lay out my plans for the day, and cigar smoking is going to be part of that day. It might not happen because the environment that I'm looking for is not quite there. So I don't necessarily go for it, or I'll push it off. I might be irritable because, man, I didn't get a chance to enjoy my cigar like I wanted to, but it ain't because of the addiction or whatever.
See, the big difference with cigars, man, versus cigarettes, and I'm not gonna make this into a bash cigarette. Yeah, it's too late. I already did. But
yeah.
I already did.
We ain't here to bash nobody.
There's cigar shops where people come together and they have things called BOTL and SOTL, and that's brother of the leaf, sister of the leaf. It's that partnership, you know what I'm saying? When we come together in that camaraderie at a shop.
Yeah.
There are no cigarette shops.
Man.
They're hookah shops, no cigarette shops. Because it's not about the environment and the mood that comes with cigarette smoking. It's a whole nother thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And they should be divided up. We should not be looked at the same. And you don't see cigars laying around on the floor, on the ground, being littered by cigar smokers. Yeah. You don't see people throwing cigars out their windows. Now, there are a few people that do it, but those are noobs that don't know what they're doing. That's not the culture.
They're doing. Yeah, they're not respecting the cigar. Yeah, I've come across a couple of cigars I see on the ground. Like, man, who just threw the cigar on the ground? Maybe it was a bad cigar. Maybe it was a brick house.
But maybe. But look, though, look. Every time you see a cigar on the ground, what is your thoughts?
Like, man, who did this? Why?
How dare you? Like,
yeah,
that's the mind
disrespect.
Of a true aficionado or a true person that's a part of the culture, a brother or sister.
You see a cigarette, cigarette butt on the ground. What are you thinking?
Disrespectful.
You're not thinking it's disrespect when you see a cigar butt, right? I mean, cigarette butt.
No, you just go, ugh. But you don't feel like it's.
But I mean, at the same time too, like I get it. Cigarettes, they have a lot of chemicals in them, man. Which are not healthy, and the smoke and whatever comes off of that cigarette in parks and beaches, honestly, shouldn't be consumed by a grand population, especially for those who don't smoke cigarettes. And cigars, you don't get the same thing. There is a level of nicotine that comes naturally in tobacco, but it's not heightened. It's not complemented by chemicals and certain things like that to increase that nicotine that's in there. That makes it dangerous, right? I even I talked to my kids about this because they came to me one time concerning because I guess they heard the tobacco thing at school and it was like, Dad, why are you smoking cigars? And you need to you probably should stop. And I had to educate them. It's not the same. Not saying that you can't get, things can't happen because of
it's still smoke that you're putting.
Still smoke.
Of course, they
but at the same time, it's more
in your lungs anyway. But it's not the same. Like,
it's not the same. It's not to that dangerous effect that a chain cigarette smoker who smokes 5 packs a day would cause. Right. And it was just that education I had to even give them. It's different. We view it differently. We consume it differently. The whole reason is different. It's just a fine separation between smoking cigars and smoking anything else, whether it's hookah, marijuana, cigarettes, whatever it is that you can consume by smoke. It's a difference,
Right.
And then if you talk about marijuana, it's a whole different thing for marijuana as well. Right. That they might have their case for or whatever for anything else.
Yeah, and we're not directly trying to inhale this stuff in our lungs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Which, yeah,
cigarette
that's another thing.
and marijuana smokers are doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just
And
puff it. You puff it, and that's it.
puff it, you might retrohale it, but you're not directly trying to get it to your lungs. You know what I'm saying? That's not the goal.
Yeah, that's not the
And
purpose. Yeah, that's not the goal.
and a lot of it is taste and smell for us. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's
we talked a few episodes back about just the smell, how that creates a certain type of nostalgia, or it creates a certain type of atmosphere just off the aromas. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And even then, like talking about being able to smoke at parks and beaches and stuff like that, I could be running, jogging, and just have the smell of cigar. Like, man, somebody smoking. I'm in the middle of a 5 mile run, and I'm smelling cigar smoke in my neighborhood. I'm like, man, they getting it.
Yeah.
I'm nodding them up. You know what I'm saying? Man, that smell good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's an inviting aura. It's an inviting aroma. It's an inviting like the whole thing with it, which is something that I think more people need to have an understanding about. Just the environment that it creates, just off the aromas of cigars, man. Like it creates an inviting environment that just feels good to
right.
me, you know. And there's a lot of other cigar smokers who, you know, who are not cigar smokers, but non-cigar smokers who have been around it, inquired with me about it, and they have the same thought and idea, or I might even give them their first time. They'll come to a cigar lounge with me, like, man, this is, I can do this, you know, just because they get that uplifting, like empowering feeling off the aroma and the enjoyment of smoking a cigar.
Everybody,
And
a lot, but I'm not gonna say everybody.
I champion Florida for that, man, for having an understanding and putting that forward, saying, hey, look, man, this is our culture here. You know what I mean?
Right. But look at it this way, man. A lot of people, I'm not gonna say most or all, but a lot of people, like you say, just enjoy the aroma of it, even if they don't want to partake. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody really walks by somebody smoking a cigar and be like, "Ah, that stinks." They'll say that smells good. It's something about the aroma that's good. Cigarette smokers, everybody thinks it stinks. You know what I'm saying? Like if you come in the house smelling like cigarettes, they say you stink. Like, you know.
Right.
But
right.
Look at the difference.
It's just a certain way it hits the nostrils, man.
It's the chemicals in that versus cigars being a more natural process. You know what I'm saying? It's from nature. And that's the same conversation marijuana smokers give. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is more natural and this is from nature. But the same thing stands for cigars. You know what I'm saying? And
well, I would say this though, even though it's a big push for marijuana and legalization and all that stuff, me personally, I don't enjoy the smell of marijuana, man. I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, it kind of stinks.
I don't.
But check this out. Also, continuing with what I was saying about this, cigar smoking is meditative. You know what I'm saying? It's that. You know what I'm saying? It's relaxing for people. Not relaxing like my nerves need to be relaxed, but just it's a zen thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dating back to the Indians and the high chiefs, and they smoking out of their peace pipes.
And you know what's crazy? Just this morning, that you mentioned that, I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos on mushrooms, and a lot of these advocates for using mushrooms for medicinal purposes and the benefits of it and all this stuff, and you know, you get that from cigars without the psychedelic medical or you know what I'm saying, mental effects.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like with all the psychological changes that it creates, right?
Right.
You get that from cigar smoking, like you said, it's meditative. Like you can just be put into a good mood, relaxing with a cigar, but it doesn't create the same psychedelic shifts that something like mushrooms or marijuana creates, you know?
And going back to the health point, Michael Jordan smoked a cigar before all of his games. One of the greatest athletes of all time, not just in his sport, just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it does not debilitate you physically at all. Man, there's been plenty of times where I've smoked a cigar for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So you know what? I feel like going for a little run, and I go run 5 miles immediately after smoking a cigar, and I have asthma.
There you go. There you go. Leave cigars in all parks. It's not the same. we
not the
clean up
same.
behind ourselves. We
It's
don't
okay.
we don't just mush it out in the ground and have ashes all in
No,
the ground and stuff.
facts.
Yeah.
When I finish cigar and I'm not completely done with it, what we do? We clip it
Clip that.
off.
First of
Yeah,
all, you let it go out on its own. It's a natural
let it
process.
go out. It's on its own.
Then
Right,
you
right,
clip it
right.
off. It's different, man.
So tell me about your cigar, man. Where we at with it?
For me, I'm kind of around the same place. It's got some of those woody notes. I would say it's probably like at a medium body, but it's smooth though.
Okay.
Real smooth.
Okay.
A very subtle leather done on it, but not too bad. Well, leather and cedar, probably a little bit more cedar, very subtle amount of leather, and a lot of that the spice is gone at this point in time. And that's kind of where it's at.
Okay.
And the woody notes still remain. The woody notes still prominent, but it's more on the back end after the other ones hit you initially. That woodiness on the back end. And the aroma of the smoke is more
Man,
very
you know what?
cedar, very big cedar smell on the aroma of the smoke itself.
Just by your explanation of what you were getting threw me back to South Beach 2010?
Somewhere like that. Yeah, 2010 probably.
You just threw me back. That's exactly what I remember from Romeo. I haven't had Romeo in years, man. But even with your description there, it kind of throws me back to what I remember.
Yeah, it's a nice cigar, bro. Like but you know it's nice because it was your first. Maybe not this specific
ushered me in.
It ushered you. It kept you with this same description I gave. It kept you. So that's why I say it's got a man cigar feel to it.
Yeah,
but it's not. It ain't gonna run you off. And no disrespect to the ladies, man, that may listen to the show. You know what I'm saying? But
we gonna talk that talk.
There's a masculine energy and there's a feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? And you can be whatever gender you are and have it. You know what I'm saying? But this cigar gives off a masculine energy, but not over dominant. You know what I'm saying? It's not what they say, toxic masculinity, which I don't believe in. But it's not toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I remember feeling, man. That's when I remember feeling right there in that moment. It felt good. It felt potent. It felt like, I'm smoking a cigar. Let me know I was smoking a cigar, but it wasn't something that made me shy away. So I can't handle this. This is something different. It made me feel like I imagined smoking a cigar for the first time was going to be like.
Make you feel. Yeah. So I would say, keep this one in mind for yourself. If I need to say the band, you know what I'm saying? You should visit this one. It was for those of you who
save the band for me.
Okay, I'll do that. $10.35 is what I spent on it.
Good price point.
Not a bad price point at all.
Even in the midst of inflation.
Yes.
Great price point.
Yep. So what's up with where you at with my father's?
Oh man, hey, look, let me tell you this. Based on the description, which is why I don't like to read descriptions before, my father's failed at their description.
Was this from one of my father's website, or did you get it from like Cigars International or something like that?
This is Cigars International.
Okay.
But I say this. This is a compliment, not an indictment. Because this is supposed to be, the way I was reading it was one of his more bold cigars. And if this is bold for my father's, this is the smoothest bold I've ever had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like looking at their rating, like the profile description, right? And I don't know if you're familiar with the colors on the profile. It starts at yellow and then goes to red, and there's some orange in the middle, and then there's some red orange towards the end, and some yellow orange towards the lighter side. So this is at the fourth notch. So almost the red, but orange red. Where it spoke about the pepper and the boldness. But man, I'm telling you, like I don't know if it's because of what I'm putting on my palate, but I got absolutely none of that at the beginning for me. Like maybe a hint of pepper, just a hint, the slightest hint. But it's been smooth and solid through the first third. So we're going into the second third now. So I'll see what kind of textures and flavors come off the second third. But it said through the first third I was supposed to get some strong pepper and some strong boldness. But all I really got was just some good earthy tone, like just solid cigar.
Cool. All right, for those of y'all listening to us live, the show will continue. And for those of y'all listening on a platform, one of the podcasting platforms, it's time for you to listen to a commercial. All right, y'all. So welcome back, man. We're gonna kind of transition from that conversation that we just had on Florida and what they did, and we're gonna talk about somebody else who may have had a little bit of judgment for cigars here. Now, also on cigarfishionado.com, they talked about a recording studio for the new Batman. Well, I'm sorry, the new Batman film. They didn't want Penguin smoking a cigar. He was not allowed to use a cigar for the role of the Penguin. Now, Colin Farrell, who was going to be playing the Penguin, apparently he wanted to use a cigar, man, but the studio wasn't feeling it, man. They said big studios made the decisions around such things as the president of cigarettes and film, and he said he fought valiantly for a cigar. And even at one stage, I said I can have it unlit. Let me just have it unlit. And they were like, no, like a bunch of 12-year-olds are gonna start smoking Cuban cigars because of the Penguin. Hey, man, you know. We just play at our hearts, man, for the case of cigars, man. But apparently, man, you know, some people still don't get it, man.
They don't get it, right?
I sent you this article, and you said the Penguin was a cigarette smoker. So, you know.
Hey, look, I had to go look at the images myself because I felt like I remember seeing cigars, but I just wanted to see it for myself. And what I was able to find was the long cigarette holder with the cigarette in it, right?
Right.
So if he's asking to switch to cigars, and we just spoke about the difference between cigarettes and cigars, I think you're making the better switch when you're moving to the cigar versus the cigarette that the Penguin had in the films and the animations and whatnot. I don't see what the problem is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Colin Farrell, he was on one of the covers of Aficionado magazine, wasn't he? Years back.
Probably, yeah. I believe so. Hey, man, it's bias, man. That is bias, man. You know, but
yeah,
you know, like you said, man, it ain't like kids is gonna be running out grabbing Cubans, man. You know how hard.
Of course. I mean, and they can't.
I had a handful of Cubans in my entire time doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Is what it is.
It's not. And here's the thing, like, you know. Even with cigar smoking, we talked about cigar smoking for a good few minutes now. And man, I'm looking for the day when my son turns 18 and I can get him his first cigar. You know?
Because you're understanding of what it is and the effects. You're not concerned. You know, if anything, you know it's going to be something good.
Yeah, I have no concern.
Right. But yeah, man, that's that, man. You know, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Y'all know how we feel about it. We led with how we really feel about it. You know, before we got into that story.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's ridiculous, man. It's. I would think it was a good look. To me, it's an upgrade.
Right.
It's an upgrade.
Big time. Hey, man, while we at it, man, you know, Cohiba, man. You mentioned Cohiba earlier, man. Cohiba's dropping the Behike BHK 52, man, is what they dropping, man. That thing got a 93 score. So you know,
93.
I've had.
Is that low? Is that low for Cohiba?
I don't know, brother. It might be, man. But I had one Behike in probably like maybe around 2012. That's a bad boy.
Yeah,
that's a bad boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I've had one. I've had one early on as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was legit. It might have been a counterfeit.
Even if it was it good? It was a good counterfeit, right?
It was good to me. I had no problem with it because you know at this time I remember I was learning about counterfeits around that same time. Because I had taken a cruise, right? And of course, when you go offshore a little bit, you can grab it. So I had it there, You know what I'm saying? Then I came back and I'm looking at the bands. I'm trying to remember what kind of band I had. Because if you look at the bands are different based on the counterfeits versus the real thing. It was a good cigar still. So I didn't turn me away from it. And even then at that point, it was early on for me. But I can still have some kind of discernment what I didn't like versus what I did like, because that's when I ran into Brick House and I realized I didn't like Brick House.
Right.
But it definitely wasn't a cigar that I hated. It was a really good cigar. I just had the understanding that I might not be able to get this again. But
Well,
hey,
for those of you that's international,
now we got them. We can get them. We can get them now.
well, this is still a Cuban cigar, so I don't know, But for those of you that are international or got access to somebody who's international that'll take care of you, it'll be 63 euros for you. So y'all enjoy that, man. And
what's that translate to US dollars?
About 60, about 72, probably. Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to get a Vernon's P.O. box, man. For those of y'all that want to look out for us, man, y'all can send us some vehicles.
Please.
We enjoy those. We'll take them gladly and we'll review them on the show for you.
Yes, sir. Anybody want to sponsor? Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, man. Take care of us, man.
But man, so thinking about that, thinking about price point, and thinking about the difference between Gurkha and their price point, Cohiba and their price point, like the fact that they're not shy about that price point is amazing. And it's like, you do right by your core audience. You deserve to be able to have that type of price point for a particular cigar.
Right.
And even a shout out to Gurkha, because they definitely do right by their core fan base, and they have their price points where they have their price points, but their core fan base is solid with them.
Yeah, they're able to keep the lights on at that price point. So shout out to them for that. I don't know what 12 people are buying up all the Gurkha, but they are doing it.
But it's enough to pay the bills.
Enough to pay the bills, man. You know who else got a serious price point, to the point that I don't think I ever had one, to be honest with you. But I don't hear nobody complain about them, so I'm a believing it must be pretty respectable. Theirs. But Davidoff, have you had one of those before?
Yes, I've never had one, but yes, their price point is up there.
The price point runs
Their
me
price
off.
point is up there. I've seen them at the cigar shops plenty of times, and I've been so tempted to pick up one of those, but I've just never been there. When I know I can get 3-4 cigars for the price of one, it's like, I really want this Rocky. I really want this My Father's. I really want this Alec or whoever. I'll pass up on that Davidoff because I know I can get 3 other cigars for this one cigar. One day I'm gonna have to try them out, man.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one at some point. I'm not gonna say it's next episode or nothing, but I'm gonna go ahead and say forget it.
No promises. No promises on that.
I'm putting no pressure on myself, but I will get one. So I'm putting it out there. Eventually we'll have that episode. Both get one.
Well, I'll tell you, they are both with that price point. That price point is amazing. And with all the cigar smokers I know, I don't know. I can't name one cigar smoker that I've seen post a cigar, tell me that, hey, man, Denzel, you need to try the cigar. Nobody has ever recommended that cigar to me. I don't know, maybe because they can't afford it.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not judging you when you walk in, but yeah. Nobody's ever steered me towards that. I don't know. Like, hey, go try this out. But they're in all the shops. Yeah.
they're in all the shops.
All the shops. They have great relationships.
So they're selling.
They must be selling because they're there. Because I went to my shop when I picked up my cigar on Friday, and I said, as I went through, I picked up those 2 that I told you, the Joya de Nicaragua and this Romeo y Julieta. And I said, as we were leaving out the humidor, hey, y'all got Alec Bradley? He said, nah, they just don't sell well. We ain't had it in years. And that was a different shop from my original one. They said the same thing. And
that was it, yeah.
We just laughed about it afterwards. I said, man, they were such a big brand. He just bust out laughing. He said, yeah, they were, but we can't order them no more. Nobody buys them. In fact, that's
Come
shout out
on,
to you,
Alec.
Alec.
Come
We give you
on.
some attention every episode, Alec, just because we're trying to keep you alive.
It seems just about every episode we talk about Alec a little bit at some point, right?
We got to keep him alive. We want you to win, but I don't see the same thing with. And is it Davidoff or Davidoff? What's the pronunciation of that?
I think it's that. I think I want to say Davidoff maybe because if I'm not mistaken, it's European, right?
I don't know. I don't give much attention. I just see him around. I see that price point, and I see when I do see him, I don't see him seem to get no hate. So, I had to do some research on it, man. You know, and if anybody does research it, you know, please let us know something, man. You know,
let us know. Yeah, I really want to know. And you know, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do more research, only because I am curious. And that's the least I can do because I'm not gonna pick up a cigar no time soon. Not that I'm anticipating, but I do want to know more about them. Like because that price point is heavy. That price point is heavy. There's another one I can't think of the name right now. I might bring it to you next episode. But there's another cigar that's out there. I remember pointing out to you, it had like one like the hexagon shape or whatever, or maybe not the hexagon shape. It had like several straight corners, so it wasn't a box press like with 4 corners, but it had like at least 6 corners or whatever. Their price point up there as well.
Braided, one of those braided cigars? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it wasn't a braided cigar. It starts with a P. I can't remember the name of it particularly, but it starts with a P. I'm gonna find it for you. But their price point's up there too. Their price point's up there, right up there with Davidoff. And they usually have one of the like more grand displays in most cigar shops I go in. They always stands out. Always stands out. I just can never remember the name because I see the price and I'm like, not for me, and I go the other way.
Partiga?
So I never really like. No, not Partiga. Not them. I wish I can. I wish I could tell you what it was. I wish I can even spell it right enough to Google it right now.
All right, cool. Well, look, man, switching subjects on you. What is which drink are you on now? You had 2. Which one are you on?
Man, I've been switching back and forth the whole show. Be honest with you.
Okay.
So right now I'm on the Jameson ginger and lime.
So they must be pairing equally to you then, since you kind of bouncing between the two.
You know what? They don't clash. So my wine has not clashed with my Jameson, and which is what I like though. The fact that the Jameson ginger lime is just chill enough that I can switch it back and forth with the wine. Because my Sauvignon Blanc, of course, Sauvignon Blanc's gonna be chill. It's gonna be light. Has a crispness to it.
Right.
Like it's a real crispy type of wine, which is what I like. You know, even though we were talking about port, and port has a heavier viscosity to it.
Right.
You know, with the sweetness and heavy sweetness. But that's what I used to like about the Sauvignon Blanc is the fact that it had that crispness that it can cut whatever was on my palate when I'm smoking my cigar. And yeah, it I can bounce back and forth with it. Granted, I never really have an issue switching liquors or drinks when I'm drinking anyway, whether it's brown, white, tequila, vodka, whatever. I can drink whatever and still be good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is either one of them hitting cool. A little better than the other?
Oh man, I can't really say, to be honest with you.
Equal.
You know what? I'm gonna say the Sauvignon is hitting a little bit better.
Okay. But that's home sweet home.
The Sauvignon is hitting a little better. It's home sweet home. It's home sweet home. Well, Jameson home sweet home too. It's just the fact that it's the canned version of it that's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not really Jameson like that.
Jameson
is one of those go-to it's a go-to whiskey for me.
But like if it's a whiskey I don't want to spend.
Right? Yeah. I drank a whole lot more Sauvignon early on than when I actually discovered Jameson.
Right.
You know, because you know me, I came into the liquor game a little later than most. And then when I did start drinking it, of course, it was wine more so than anything.
You know, you came in late, but by the time you came in, I was just starting to get ready to spend some money on alcohol. Because prior to that, I had been drinking bottom shelf. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
the gin, yeah.
so
The
you came
$10
in with good
gins. You know what I'm
timing.
saying?
You
Put
know
in
what
your
I'm
back pocket.
Yeah. Don't tell them it's in the back pocket, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at me, they're gonna judge me, man. Like, and it wasn't a
It's
flask,
early
it was the
on, man. Them
actual
college
bottle.
years, man.
Hey, look, man, look.
Actual-
Y'all, it
actual
wasn't even a flask, it was a straight up bottle. It was a plastic bottle. And
straight
this is
up
back when
bottle.
our pants was
Yeah.
really big, so you could fit the bottle in your back pocket. It
You
was
can
like,
do it. It can fit in your back pocket. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that in 2022.
nah, they ain't gonna fit in these jeans now. But back then they could fit in your back pocket. They didn't stand out. Nobody knew you had it back there. You just whip it out, go hit you a little bit, man, and nobody even knew what was going on. You stink. You smell like liquor, cheap liquor on top of that because it was probably $3.
Cheap liquor.
What we spent about $2-3? We spent about $3, right? No more than $4. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look.
This
Yeah, I
is
don't know what y'all was
early
spending.
2000s,
Hey, look,
prior
y'all was
to
getting to it.
inflation. So
Yeah, y'all was getting to it.
yeah, man.
Mad Dog 2020 prices. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wild Irish Rose.
We'll get into those stories. We got a special guest, man, that we're gonna get on the show with us, man. One of our college friends, man. Maybe we'll get into some of them old stories, man. I'm not gonna jump into them too much now. I'll save those episodes later on.
All right.
But with that being said, man, let's. I know you probably only in your second, third. I had a smaller cigar. I think I had mine was a 50 by 5, so mine's a little shorter than yours, man.
Okay.
So I'm actually
Okay.
beginning my last third.
About a good hour smoke then. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm starting my last third. So, but let's get into the final reviews of these cigars because we coming to the end of the show. So,
hey man, hey look, I'm ready. Honestly.
Oh, and look, check this out.
You want to go first?
I noticed both of us have not relit. So these cigars have been they're good cigars. First of all,
yeah.
Actually,
I did put a little bit more heat on mine.
Okay.
It wasn't a relight out of necessity, like it just went out or whatever. But I did put some heat on mine just for clarification purpose, and want to make sure I'm being transparent.
Yeah.
Sort.
Well, I haven't had to on mine, man. This thing has been burned into perfection. No struggles or nothing like that. Trying to when pulling on it, it's been good. So I'm cool on my end.
But yeah, I'm gonna say like the light that I did was like one of those ones that, man, I don't want it to go out. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'll go ahead and give mine real quick, man. Final thoughts on mine.
Go ahead. Sure.
I wouldn't say that it's changed too much, man. The woodiness kind of stayed throughout it the whole time. That cedar smell stayed throughout the entire time. Coming into this final third, it's that little mild sweetness I talked about in the beginning that I first picked up on. I called it molasses. I'm not sure. I'm not the greatest with these descriptions, but that's what came to mind. I believe when I was looking into the cigar, they said it had a raisin flavor to it, so maybe that's what it is. It's just now kind of picking up now.
That's unique.
Yeah. It's a good cigar, man. I stand on what I said when I first was toasting it, and I said, "Oh wow, this is a good cigar." And I said it at the opening. I stand on that throughout it. It's been a good cigar. Had some good ashes on it too, some good color on the ashes and whatnot, man. I enjoyed myself with this one, man. I would definitely get it again. Hey man, I'm gonna give this cigar a 4.5. I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5. That's out of 5.
Nice. And I kind of hate you said 4.5 because I'm leaning towards the same thing in my opinion, for my cigar. But I'm gonna tell you why. So I kind of gave you my thoughts of where I was rating it only because you almost hit the nail on the head with mine, right? But man, my fathers they did not let me down again.
That's your favorite cigar brand,
I'm gonna start. It's my favorite cigar brand, and
did I put
you know me? I'm a
on
loyalist, right? I don't know who did. I can't say you didn't. I'm not gonna give you and say you didn't. But I don't know who put me on. But
in Miami, we were there, and BJ visited us.
Oh, you did. It was it's the brand with the maroon wrapper on it, the maroon band on the end, on the tip, and
Right,
it has
right.
the two figures on the band. Yeah, you actually did put me on my father's. You are
I
right.
think I
Box
did. I
press
thought so. The box
might have
press,
been
man.
my first box press too. Might have been my very first box press.
Hey, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. You know.
So I gotta give you credit
Man.
for my favorite press, because box press is now my favorite. I love a box press. And now I got to give you props for my favorite brand. My father's my favorite brand. And you
Two
know
birds
what?
with
I
one
did not go
stone.
into this cigar two birds with one stone. I did not go into this cigar hoping that it was going to be the greatest cigar, or hoping that, man, this is my father's, is going to be good. You know, I was looking to scrutinize this cigar, to be honest with you. You know, after I picked up the cigar because it was a cigar that I haven't had before by my father. But then at the same time, looking at the description of it, I was ready to scrutinize it. So when we got to the episode today, I was like, all right, I'm gonna smoke this one. I've looked at the description a little bit. I want to see how this one handles what the description says, right? With the peppers and all that stuff. And does it handle it like a Cohiba, or does it handle it like a Gurkha? Handle like a Cohiba, you a champion. You
Right.
handle your leather like a Gurkha, I can't fool with you, right? So it might have been a cigar. I love my father, but that cigar particularly, I'm not grabbing again.
You ready to say it?
And I was ready. I was ready. I was ready. I was ready to take that one on the chin and say, "You look, I stand by the brand, but that cigar, not for me." I can't say that today. I can't say it. I can't say it. I have to say that it might be one of my father's cigars, man.
Uh-oh.
It might be my next to the La Opulencia and next to the Judge. Those are my two favorites right now with my father's. This one might challenge the other two, even with the description of the pepper, because I did not get that. I don't know if it's the palate that I've prepared that
Right.
kind of killed the pepper. So I might have to try the cigar with the dry without a drink or whatever, and just see it through and through, just to be sure, because I don't want to give somebody or a cigar that kind of accolade without being 100% sure.
Hey man, I think the cigar is what the cigar is, man. You can't give too much credit to your snacks before the cigar. You know what I'm saying? Like the cigar is it's a champion, brother. Like you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
okay. Because you can have a great snack and prepare your palate and still be let down, right?
That's right, man. Go smoke you a Gurkha after you prepare your palate. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry,
I'm gonna
Gurkha.
be let
Or
down.
brick house, you know.
Yeah, we can talk bad about Brick House all day. I don't care. I feel how I feel, Brick House. I'm sorry. You gotta win. You gotta win me back over.
Right. So 4.5 is the score.
4.5.
Okay.
4.5. Right
And a new
now,
favorite.
challenging my top two my father's cigars, being the third wheel that can probably knock out one of those two my father's.
Hey, they do it again. Y'all go check out my father's, man. And what's the name of that cigar one more time for the people that stuck with us this long
Oh
that
man, don't
heard
put
that
me
review
on.
and they
Oh
want to go
man,
ahead
don't
and
do
get
that.
it?
Okay. Let me make sure I say it right. La Gran Oferta.
Uh-oh.
It's spelled
Spell it.
Oferta.
There we go.
Oferta. Ofta.
Oferta.
Oferta. There we
Oferta.
go. I don't know, man. Too many Jameson limes, man. Come on.
All right, that's what it is. And for me, I had that Romeo y Julieta 1875 Reserva Real. Or Real, how they
Yes,
be
sir.
saying it for the
Go
soccer
pick
team.
up
I don't know.
Romeo, man.
Reserva
Mad love to
Real.
Romeo. Lots of love.
The Nicaragua also. I got the blue band. Go get the blue, not the traditional red that you used to getting for the Reserva Real.
Blue band. Try them out, man. Try them out.
Try both
that
out,
blue
man.
band.
That's 2 4.5.
I'm definitely
man.
gonna
That's
look
a
for
9
it.
out of 10, man. What else to go get, man? 9 out of 10 for both between both.
You know what?
cigars.
I'll be at the cigar shop probably tomorrow, and I'm gonna look for that one.
You should. That's gonna give you big nostalgia.
I'll be at the cigar
vibes.
shop tomorrow. I'm gonna look for that one. Yeah. Especially I got the Sauvignon, half a bottle left. You know, I think it'll take me right back to the Genesis, man.
That's what you do, man. You near water. Go hit the water. Get your little time to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Post up, bro.
Yes,
After
sir.
some fish. You know, enjoy yourself. But anyway, y'all,
trying to throw me back in my feelings, man. Come on, man.
Hey, man, that's what I want, man. You know, we'll be in Miami in no time. So, look, y'all, we appreciate y'all tuning in to today's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. Hey, don't forget, man, y'all download that Spotify Green Room app and come chill with us, man, in the Green Room, man. You can look us up under the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. That's what we're going to be under every Saturday, once again, between 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern time. Once again, between 12 and 1, man, you know, just follow us, man, and you'll get the notification. And come chat with us, man. Come talk with us. Come leave some messages, man. And if we're paying attention to our phone, we'll respond to it. But anyway, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll get with y'all on the next episode. Cigars up.
All right, cigars up.